All right. All of us except for Scott are going to have to start teaching in about 10 minutes. So to honor the component of our PLC where we're kind of metacognitive, we reflect on how this process went and make any adjustments or improvements for next time. Let's move into that last piece there and talk a little bit about how we're doing and what we gained from this. So anybody, was there anything that you really gained from today's PLC that you'd like to highlight?
I'd like to know, is there anything that we came up with today so far that we want to talk about down the road? I mean, it seemed to me the
models.
The models thing is one. We had a nice conversation about that. And the other thing is this density and the developmental appropriateness, or the period when kids really are starting to be able to apply the ideas of density. That seems like something we may want to throw in a parking lot for a future conversation, because it shows up again and again. And you teach those 8th graders and you know that they don't get it.
And I don't think we're all in agreement here about where exactly that's appropriate. So.
I would agree. Do we have any questions? I mean, the rubric, again, thanks Scott for taking care of that this time. How do we feel about the rubric? Do we feel like we have a pretty confident understanding of the rubrics that we're creating and using to look at student work here? Or do we need to have further discussions about that?
This particular rubric strikes me as one that I might give to my students to be able, well, almost. It's specific enough to the experiment that, I mean, it says like the smoke and stuff like that, but in some other ways, like especially the content knowledge and the scientific explanation, it's almost like it's a general enough rubric that I could give it to them for them to think about all the work they produce. But I don't know if it's specific enough. Well, like that number 5, like, did it really target that content knowledge precisely enough to help us figure out where that kid's at?
All right, so maybe that's something we can add for our next PLC, or in the interim talk a little bit more about rubrics. Maybe we could even bring examples of rubrics we've used in the past to look at student work and see if these could be used for student self-assessment or just to improve our rubric writing.
You mean have a meeting just about rubric?
Yeah, I think that might be helpful as well.
That could be really helpful.
Well, and in this case, I mean, you made the rubric by yourself. It might be useful if the next time a couple people maybe talk about it beforehand. Just
That's a good idea.
Yeah. Or if whoever makes it next time could send it out and we could get some feedback and then
think about it ahead of time.
All right.